So today we're doing a bit of work on the Cami Velo. And therefore you were all familiar with how the Velocette worked with the brake plate, but effectively you've got this foot off the back of the girder fork which rests against this plate, which has also got the brake arm in it, and that resists the motion this way. And then you've got that spigot which also is going to have something put on it which resists the motion that way. And what I've done is I've made this little turned up shoulder, so it's got the radius of the fork leg tube in here. It's got a counter bore which is actually a taper to match that slight taper on there. You've obviously got a hole down the middle, and hopefully I've made a counter bore big enough so I can get a socket in there to do the nut up with. So let me just assemble that up and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. So there it is, attached. So I've put that in so that it lines up with the angle of the tube. And then the other thing I've been doing is, well, you're going to see this, or if you're getting dizzy with me moving the camera, but this is obviously the brake arm with the square on it, or the register that turns it, and we've got this, because we've got the strutted forks, this is quite a bit stuck out. So what I've done is I've taken this original brake arm and I've cut it in half, and then I've welded another 10mm into that. Hopefully you can't see any of the joins. I'm quite pleased with that. So when that bolts on, I'll take you around. Once that goes on here, it's gonna, in its operation, it's gonna miss that fork leg. So I'll just assemble that up, and then I'll let you have a look. So that's what it looks like from the side, and then when we walk up from above, you get a nice bit of clearance in there. I'm thinking that I like that, but it looks a bit bulbous at the moment. I'm wondering if I might slim that down or drill some holes in it or do something to make that look a little bit less like I've made it, and it might have been something that was made by the Velocette factory, or maybe I can just paint it black. We'll see. Anyway, that's what we're up to. So obviously goes without saying that the new wheels are on the forks, and if I turn round, we've also got the rear wheel in as well, which also needs a few little tweaks, but we're getting there. Right, so I haven't taken you along, but I've been busy in the lathe. So first up, I've dropped that. I'll get that in a minute. Second up, I've turned up that rod and I've put a 6mm thread in it. I've got a 6mm bolt, and I've drilled a just over 2mm hole, 2mm diameter hole down the middle. So that fits in there. And then that bolt will screw down, turn it over. It's going to have a nut on the back, even though it's got a thread through it, so it's got an extra safety. And I've made this brass nipple with a 2mm hole, fits the thread. Oh, and the other thing I've done is I made a sleeve. I don't know if you can see that, but I put a sleeve over the top so that it fits nicely. Cool, it's pretty bright, isn't it? Up that hole, which was too big for the ferrule that was on there already, so I've made sort of an extension ferrule. So the only problem I can see, or the only consequence of the way I've come up with that, oh, the other thing I'd wanted to say was that with the nut on the back, I'm trying to do this left-handed, that nut will fit in that space, so it will stop the rod being able to slide out, even though it can't come all the way out by the time the thread hits the side of the arm. It won't come all the way out, but with the nut on the back it's going to make it that much nicer. But yeah, the consequence is that once this is all assembled and it's soldered on, I'm going to have to take the brake arm off each time. I considered cutting a slot down that so that I could take it off at that point, but I think it's as short as it's long. I'm sure there'll be some comments saying you could have done this, but that's what I've chosen to do. So we've got an 8.8mm bolt, or tensile strength bolt. Okay, I've drilled a hole down the middle of it, but it's still going to be pretty damn strong, and it's going to have a nut on the end of it. There's no way we're going to pull that off. So what I need to do now is assemble it all, put the lever on the handlebars, work out the dead length, cut the cable, and then I'll solder that nipple on. And I've got a nice big recess in there, so I can spread the cable out and get a load of solder in there and squash it up so the solder's in the middle of the cable. So that should be pretty good. So I'll go and assemble all that and I'll bring you back. So all the pieces together. And we've got the brake arm. Now these shoes that are on there are new, but I haven't got them lined, so I don't know what the friction material is. So we'll have to check that out when we get around to riding it. But yeah, nice bit of progress.